you just won 30 billions in a lottery. Or like you was just made chief of police, sir. Not having heard the door open, the inspector suddenly saw Adelina standing before him, staring at him, keys still in hand. Why had she come so early? Embarrassed, he instinctively turned towards the telephone to hide his privates. Apparently the male backside is considered less shameful than the front. The housekeeper quickly fled into the kitchen. "Cat, want to bet I know why you're calling? A dead man was found somewhere, am I right?" "Yes and no, Chief." "Where am I wrong?" "It's a dead lady, Chief." "Listen, isn't Inspector Augello around?" "He's already at the scene of the crime, Chief. But the inspector just called me now saying to call you now, Chief, saying how it's better if you go there too, Chief. Personally and poison." "Where was she found?" "At a Sarsetto, Chief, round about the Merkin Bridge." That was far along the road to Montelusa, and the inspector had no desire to get behind the wheel. "Send a car over to pick me up." "The cars are all in the garage and can't go nowheres, Chief." "They all broke down at the same time?" "No, sir, Chief. They's working all right. But the fact is there's no more money to buy gasoline. Fazio called Montelusa, but they told him to be patient, 'cause the money's on the way and they'll be here in a few days, but not much. So for now only the flying squad can drive and Deputy Garusso's escort." "His name is Garufo, Cat." "His name is what his name is. All that matters is you understand who I mean, Chief." The inspector cursed the saints. The police stations had no gasoline, the courts had no paper, the hospitals had no thermometers, and meanwhile the government was thinking about building a bridge over the Strait of Messina. But there was always plenty of gasoline for the useless escorts of ministers, vice-ministers, undersecretaries, committee chairmen, senators, chamber deputies, regional deputies, cabinet chiefs, and under-assistant briefcase carriers. "Have you informed the prosecutor, forensics, and Dr. Pasquano?" "Yes, sir, but Dr. Quaspano got really pissed off." "Why?" "He says how, since he ain't ubiquitous, he can't get to the scene for a couple of hours. Chief, could you explain something to me?" "Sure, Cat." "What's ubiquitous mean?" "It means being in many different and faraway places at the same time. Tell Augello I'm on my way." He went into the bathroom and got dressed. "Coffee's ready," Adelina informed him. As soon as he walked into the kitchen, the housekeeper looked him up and down and said, "You know you're still a good-looking man, signore." Still? What was that still supposed to mean? Montalbano darkened. But then Montalbano too immediately appeared. "Oh, no, you don't. You can't get pissed off. You're contradicting yourself, considering that barely an hour ago you felt old and decrepit." Better change the subject. "Why'd you come early today?" "'Cause I gotta catch a bus to Montelusa to go talk to Judge Sommatino." He was the judge overseeing the prison where Pasquale, the younger of the housekeeper's two sons, was being detained. Pasqualino was a habitual offender whom Montalbano himself had arrested twice, and for whose firstborn son the inspector had been made godfather at the baptism. "Apparently the judge is going to put in a good word so he's can come home for house arrest." The coffee was good. "Let me have another cup, Adeli." Since Dr. Pasquano was going to be arriving late, he might as well take his time. In the days of the Greeks, the Salsetto had been a river. Later, in the days of the Romans, it became a brook, then a rivulet by the time of Italian unification, and later still, in the fascist era, a stinking little trickle, before finally becoming, with the advent of democracy, an illegal dumping ground. During the Allied invasion in 1943, the Americans built a metal bridge over the now dried-up riverbed, but one night a few years later the span disappeared, having been entirely dismantled between sunrise and sunset by iron thieves. The spot, however, had retained the name. The inspector pulled up in a clearing where there were already 5 police cars, 2 private vehicles, and the van for transporting corpses to the morgue. The squad cars all belonged to Montelusa Central Police. Of the private cars, one belonged to Mimi Augello, the other to Fazio. "How come in Montelusa they've got gasoline up the ass and we don't have a drop?" the inspector asked himself aloud, feeling annoyed. He chose not to answer. Augello came up as soon as he saw him get out of the car. "Mimi, couldn't you have scratched your balls by yourself?" "Salvo, I'm not going to play your game anymore." "What do you mean?" "I mean that if I hadn't had you come here later, you'd be driving me crazy."